learn a new printmaking technique called Collograph. And what Collograph is basically using a bunch of different textured items to create a plate. And on that plate that's what we're going to be making our prints from. So you'll start with a piece of cardboard, and then I have all these things that we can add to it. I have foam pieces, there's felt, there's burlap, there's pieces of yarn, and of course other pieces of cardboard. I've already got one that I've started. I've already drawn my pieces out, and I've cut it out, and I punched a hole for the eye. And to get this texture, I just took a piece of cardboard that was corrugated, and you know that if you look at the side, you see that design right there, that wavy design, then you know it's corrugated. And if you want to see this design, you just peel off the top layer, and it tears right off. Sometimes you have to work at it, and sometimes it gets stuck a little bit, so you'll have to kind of work at peeling it off so that you can see that texture underneath, because it makes a real cool texture when we print. So if you want that texture, just peel off that first layer of cardboard, and then once you've drawn it all out and cut all your pieces out and got it the way you want it, then you're just going to take some Elmer's glue and you're going to start gluing the pieces down. I suggest that you get it all laid out the way you want it before you start adding glue. You don't want to add too much glue, but you want to add enough glue to where it's going to stick to your cardboard. And then you'll just start gluing all the pieces down. Once you get all your pieces glued down, then you're going to have to put this on the drying rack, because it's going to have to dry before we can print it. You don't want to try to print it while all your glue is still wet, because everything will move around on you, and that will not work very well for us. Especially tricky with these little pieces, because you're probably going to get some glue around the edges. That's why we want to let it dry for a little bit. You want to try to keep the pieces even. You don't want pieces to build up pieces way too high, because if you do that, then the piece that's way up high is going to get ink, and nothing else is going to get ink on it. And that will not work very well when you're trying to print it. So make sure you try to keep them all kind of at the same level when you're making your textures. This is why I decided to put this piece of cardboard right here, because I wanted to use that burlap, but the burlap is really thin. And I've got this cardboard sticking up, so I figured I'll put this cardboard right here to kind of make these pieces even, and then I can put the burlap right on top of this. And you're probably going to need a little bit of glue to get this stuck down, because this is going to have to dry. I'm going to make like that, because you want to stick it down as much as you can. It's okay if some pieces are sticking up a little bit. The fabric's going to be the hardest part to get stuck down there. I'm just pushing it in with my fingers. And then once you get it all glued down, then I would go ahead and put your name on the cardboard, so that we can put it on the drying rack. And then the next day we come to art, we can put ink on this and we'll make prints from it. And that's it for today for our Collographs.